Hi. Today I thought I'd like to talk with you about highly sensitive people. It's a category comprised of 15, depends on whose data you're looking at, 15 to 30% of the population. When I first came across it some years ago, turning up my volume, I'm sure this is that everybody can hear. So I came across the concept of highly sensitive people some years ago in my work as a counselor, a substance abuse counselor. And they were recognizing in our trainings, recognizing these people that are highly sensitive and how they function differently than our other clients. So highly sensitive means that these are the people that feel things intensely. These are the people I remember when I taught school. They were the children that would like ask me to cut the tags out of their shirt because it just bothered them all the time. And it's not like every kid would ever do that. But the sensitive ones, the really highly sensitive ones, it would happen again and again. That these little things would just really bother them. Reminds me also of how some people feel about being touched. That it's always best to ask permission. Because some people love being touched, but some people it really brings their senses alive and alert. And so you ask permission first, and it brings their anxiety level down and works a lot better. So highly sensitive people. These are the people that when you go to the mall and you're walking by the candle store, that they can't even go close. They move away because the smell is so overwhelming for them. Highly sensitive people get overwhelmed easily. I wrote about it in a blog on my website because I experienced it with my sister. We were watching a Transformers movie with nieces, nephews, and brother-in-law, and a bunch of people were there. And the relative whose house we were in had this wonderful surround system with speakers all around us, and it was great. Except that for my sister, it was way too much input. It was loud, it was intense. And with Transformer, there's a lot of battling. And she really didn't like it and wanted to leave the room rather than be exposed to that. An intense movie, it's okay, it's fun. So seeing her reaction fits for me very much into this highly sensitive category. In fact, when I shared with her the list that I put in the blog, she's like, well, I don't relate to every single one of those, but a lot of them. And of course, you're not going to relate to every single one. And highly sensitive people do have a lot of them. Highly sensitive people feel and sense what's going on with other people, similar to being an empath. So they know when someone that they're with, if something's bothering them, they can just sense it. One of the ones on the list that I got a kick out is when highly sensitive people are hungry. They call it hangry because they easily get angry because they're hungry. Their whole system gets off and they're reacting. And there may be blood sugar and other reasons for that, but it's not true of all people. I wanted to mention a couple other of these. They'll have a bad day if they've slept too much or too little, or eaten too much or too little. It really affects them. Another way that you will recognize a highly sensitive person is how quick they are to startle. by noise or traffic or unpleasant surprise. That's an attribute. Hi. That's an attribute of people who have PTSD, people who've been through intense trauma. They will have that startle reflex also. With highly sensitive people, it isn't maybe as dramatic as with PTSD, but still, they really feel it when they're startled. It's like a big shock. Where for someone who's not in this category, they'd be like, "Yeah, so you tried to surprise me, or you surprised me. No big deal." So highly sensitive people, again, is 15 to 30% of the population, depending on whose material you're reading. They don't like bright lights, loud sounds, and strong scents. And I think it's interesting because I fall in this category of highly sensitive, and I don't like strong scents. When someone walks by me and I can smell their perfume, I don't care for that at all. Or like I mentioned at the mall when you try to go to a candle store and you just can't. Or how about those sections in the grocery store where you can smell the detergents, or the candle section, you can smell that. You kind of want to veer around it. You don't want to be exposed to that. And at the same time, I I love a concert. Talk about loud, that's fine. Bright lights, only when necessary. So I think out of that list of bright lights and loud sounds and strong scents are the big one for me. Oh, Terry, that's you too, huh? Highly sensitive. So it's good to know this about ourselves because then we can validate for ourselves. That's why I don't like candle stores. I love candles, but I can't be around 100 of them at a time because of the scents. Another one that I wanted to mention. Hi, Holly. Good to see you. The the way that news affects people that are highly sensitive, it's as if it's a personal violation of some sort. So watching the news, it's like the negativity keeps building up and building up and building up, and it's too much. And sometimes it's scary. It's like, have you seen the ASPCA commercials with the animals that are suffering? And of course, they've rescued them, but they show you pictures before they rescue them, and it's like it's so sad. I can't even watch those. Highly sensitive people are going to be like that. That it's just too much, and so they avoid the news, certain kinds of films. There was a film put out recently. Oh, there were a couple of them about dogs, and a dog that lives over and over, and how devout he is to his families. Like, I'm not watching that. Or do you remember seeing Bambi when you were a child? Do you remember your reaction to that? Because I know mine was, it's too sad, I'll never watch it again. And I haven't. So highly sensitive people, oh my gosh. Let's see, what else do we know about them? They tend to beat themselves up, have high expectations, and then beat themselves up for not meeting them. And usually their friends and their therapists will say, it would really help you out if you would lower your expectations some and allow yourself to be more human, not expect so much. Then you could be easier on yourself. Kind of kindness you would offer someone else. Yeah. Highly sensitive people worry what other people are thinking. Often they tune in and like they intuitively know what other people are thinking, but it stresses them. But I want to see what Terry said. I'm finding the older I get, the more sensitive I am regarding animals and politics, etc. I wonder if that has to do also about giving yourself permission to be the way that you really are. And with age, we do tend to accept ourselves more than when we were, say, maybe 30 or 25 and still wanting to fit in. Because that's normal when you're 16, 17, 18. And eventually it phases out. And then when we get up 40, 50, 60, we're like, hey, I'm who I am. It's okay. It's great. Okay, let's see. What else can I tell you about highly sensitive people? Don't like large crowds. Too many things occurring simultaneously, or too many people talking. It's just like all that input, they don't have as good of boundaries about it. And all that input comes in at once, and it's too much. I think that most people have noticed children that are like that. I have a girlfriend whose son is like that. Very fun, beautiful little boy, but he gets overwhelmed by other people. And so she only lets, like one of his friends come over at a time and monitors how long they can stay because it's very tiring for him. And I've seen it with other children when I taught school. Some of them are really sensitive. I noticed it a little more with the girls than the boys, but the boys had it too. And they kind of needed more of a buffer than the other kids. So, the 6 foot distancing that we're doing today would be really great for that kind of a kid. They want that space. They don't want people touching them, surprising them in their space. The list that I've been looking at of what highly sensitive people are like doesn't say anything about their ability to feel energy. I'm thinking about how, hi Sam, when you're highly sensitive, I wonder if your aura kind of gets overwhelmed with other people's stuff. Just like, I'm trying to be very clear about this. Empaths often take on other people's stuff to help them out. Like, oh, you're sick or you're stressed. Here, let me take some of that energy from you. It'll help. And I don't know how much it helps, but it's not healthy for the empath to do that. Highly sensitive people have a lot of similar attributes to empaths. And feel what's going on around them, right? They walk into a room and they have a sense of what's happening in the room, what the energy is in the room. Like if there had been an argument before they came in, they would know it. Somebody else might be oblivious. So highly sensitive people are more of us than we might have originally thought. And I think it used to be judged more. I know when I was young, I was told things like, oh, you're just too sensitive. And I don't notice anybody saying that anymore. Maybe it's I'm a more empowered adult than I was as a young person, but I don't hear people say that. There's a little more permission to be who you are. So we still see it in a lot of children, and it's our job to protect them and provide boundaries so that they can be who they are and not be overwhelmed by other people. And as adults, it's our job to be aware of our needs and being highly sensitive and protecting ourselves. So not liking large crowds, too many things going on simultaneously. Then you keep yourself in environments where you're more comfortable. It's like my sister saying she didn't like that movie because of all the noise and how it all kind of shook the room, it seemed. was more than just watching a movie. And for her, she felt it was best to leave the room. She didn't leave the room, but she would have preferred to. And to take care of yourself, that is the thing to do. Don't expose yourself to that. It's all different now with COVID. Because I was going to say something about going to the grocery store at times when there aren't a lot of people around. Some people prefer that, so you're not having to deal with a lot of people. But now everybody's trying to go to the grocery store when there's not people around. So I don't know if it's like extra relevant or not so relevant anymore. Okay, what else can I tell you? Oh, highly sensitive people get their feelings hurt easily because they're so sensitive, right? So that might be something, again, where people would have said to them, you're too sensitive because their feelings got hurt. But knowing, do you know what a narcissist is? Because that's a whole different kind of person. And that's the kind of person that hurts your feelings and that says, well, you're too sensitive and makes it your fault. Studying about narcissists is really valuable because I wish I knew what percentage of the population they were. And people have it to a lesser or a greater degree. When they have it full out, often then they're the sociopaths that take advantage of people and don't care. Narcissists like to have what they want, take care of what they want, and have very little concern for how it affects others. But again, that's why I say it's on a continuum. Because the ones that are extreme sometimes are really wealthy, they don't have friends. Sometimes they're in prison because they really didn't care what happened to other people as they got whatever they wanted. Okay, so a narcissist will take advantage of you, will hurt you, and then say it's your fault. Highly sensitive people really need to be aware of, this person makes me feel like that all the time and I'm not going to be around them. So it could be girlfriends, it could be a boyfriend, it could be relatives. And if you attract people like that, practicing your boundaries is ideal. Learning about boundaries, strengthening them. Practicing boundaries works best on a safe person. So if you know that when JJ comes over, things will be said and you won't get respect. And yet, maybe JJ was your closest cousin. So you don't want to say anything, especially because narcissists know how to really go for the juggler. So practice on the people that can hear you so that you can get good at saying, hey, don't talk to me like that, or don't blame me for everything, or don't deny what you just did, because I won't have it. I won't have you treating me like that, and it's time for you to leave. Or if it happens again, I'm leaving. However you need to phrase it. Practice it, those boundaries. Saying it firmly and kindly, if you'd like, but then follow through. Those are healthy boundaries. So practice it, and then it's easier to do when you're in those situations where someone's saying, that's not true. You don't feel that way. And you can say, I want you to respect what I say. And don't argue with me about who I am or what I think. And if you can't handle that, then let's not talk. Or it's time for me to go home. See you. Time for me to get off the phone. Good, healthy boundaries. So that feeds into the concept of codependency. And it's another one of those things that's on the spectrum, right? That there's codependency to the point where it's killing you because you're taking care of everybody else and you're not taking care of yourself. and you need to take care of other people. And then there's codependency that just shows up of, oh, no, I really neglected myself. I didn't take care of myself. I was so busy doing my volunteer work. So it isn't the degree of codependency that is living with a practicing addict and enabling them and losing everything and being exhausted and sick because all your focus is on the addict. There are all kinds of lighter degrees of codependence when you put other people before you. If you have children, of course, their needs are going to come before yours often. And if you have a sick person in your family that you have to care for, their needs come before yours. And yet, not being codependent and taking care of yourself means that you accept respite help. You allow other family members to step in. Codependency is a good thing to read up on because it can be very subtle. But the more you release it from affecting your relationships, affecting your health, the healthier and happier you are. So it's a good one to know a lot about. Okay, so I've talked about a lot of topics today. Highly sensitive people, empaths, narcissists, codependents. These are all really, really common attributes that we slip into or have family or friends with. And it's so good to be informed and educated about them so that you're at choice. Yeah? I have a friend who's pretty narcissistic, and she called recently, and we talked about her the whole time. That's just how it is. I don't call that person very often. I prefer a give and take relationship. So we can manage these things if we are in awareness. You know the kind of person that you're around and afterwards you're drained? Again, being aware. I want to see that person or talk to that person, but a 15-minute visit is really max. Because then I'm not drained. I can do that. So that's back to boundaries again. It all comes down to nobody can do for us what we can do for ourselves. And it's our responsibility to do it. Not somebody else's job to take care of us. That would be dependency. I'm dependent on someone else to take care of me. It's our job to take care of our own well-being. We're not children. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up with a couple of downloads. And with downloads, I say what they are. I ask Creator to give it to you. I ask God to give it to you so it can be merged into your belief system. And if you want it, you say yes. And if you don't want it, don't say anything or say no. And nothing will happen. So downloads are totally energetic. So I'm going to ask Creator to download, those of you who want it, with I know who I am and I know how to set healthy boundaries when I'm with people, particularly with people who take. I have amazing awareness, and in particular can use it when I'm with people who gaslight or make me feel like I don't know anything, or make me feel like I'm wrong, make me feel like they know things and I don't. People who deny my reality. I have great awareness of who these people are, how they behave, and how to extract myself from these situations. And I am willing to have healthy boundaries and to walk away. I am willing to say no. see what else. I'm aware of my areas of sensitivity. I respect them. And I practice my boundaries around those also so that I stay healthy and comfortable. These are downloads if you want them in your head or on the list here or out loud, wherever you are, say yes. And I will ask Creator to download those for you. Just say yes. Some people feel the downloads come in. I know that's where I tend to feel them. And some people don't feel them at all, and it doesn't matter. If you say yes, it comes to you and it's yours. All righty, wrapping it up. I will be back Monday through Friday next week, 1 o'clock. There's one day I have an appointment that runs right up until 1, so I won't be here until 1:10 probably. But sharing on, I have a whole list of topics that I want to talk about. So Monday through Friday, I will be here. And if you have questions or comments, you can always personal message me. You can put them in the chat box, however you'd like to do it. I'd love to have more connection with you. If you're interested in looking at my website to know more about me, it is www.lynn, with an E, Cockrum, the hyphen, and then Murphy.com, lynncockrum-murphy.com. And let's see, next time I come on, I will put it in here, but you can find me pretty easily. I mean, you've already connected with me on Facebook. So much love to you. I hold you in high esteem. Thank you for being with me. Contact me anytime. Bye for now.